Hello, everyone. Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Katie, and today I'm doing my mid-year reading journal flip through, which I cannot believe it's already been 6 months this year, but I did not do a mid-year flip through, I think the past year or two. So I'm glad that I remembered to do one this year because I love this journal. It might be one of my favorite ones that I've ever done. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of flip through, see where I am in reading challenges and stuff. So grab a cup of coffee, grab a tea. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see any reading journal videos, plus lots of bookish content. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So this journal is the bee-themed journal from Archer and Olive. I don't think they have it anymore, but I love the full page foil design on these. I think it's beautiful. And the foil has stayed really nice. It's been 6 months and I use this multiple times throughout every single week, and the foil has not rubbed off or anything. So I'm really happy with that. So the majority of the beginning pages are kind of bee/flower themed, but as you will see in the months to come, I kind of do whatever I feel like each month. So here we have our bee theme. I love the bee theme. I kind of did a little bit. I'll probably do another bee theme maybe in either July or August. Here is my kind of star rating system where I kind of went a little bit to see, okay, like if I get stuck on a rating, I can go back and look at kind of how I feel for between a 1 and 6 star. And yes, I do have a 6-star rating system only because like there's just those books that just give you so much more and you just need one more star. So I do have a 6-star rating. Then I have my highlights of the month. So I leave 2 spaces for each month. And it's kind of like either my favorite memory or something that I'm really thankful for, I put in here rather than having like a collage of gratitude things that I had last year. Then I have my Bible tracker, which I love this because I actually made it a tip pin so I can take it out and put it into next year. I know I'm very far behind in reading, but at least I got 2 books done and I'm working my way, I think, through Exodus, I think now, if I'm not mistaken. So we're getting there. Then I have my reading tracker, which tracks how many pages I read each day, and it's pages and percentage. So if I listen to an audiobook, it's a different color, which I love this. And surprisingly, I would say it's 95% accurate. There are some days where I kind of forgot, so I kind of had to like guess, but surprisingly, it's really good. There's also numbers here. If you see, those numbers are like if I completed more than one book in that day, which that was rare. And I am shocked that I even did that in a couple days. But I love how it looks. And as I said, not bad tracking. I actually keep track on my phone in an app that has a list. And then I go back in here and colored it in, which really helps. And I did miss 2 days of reading. So that's the 2 blanks right there. And there's blanks down here, but that's because there's only so many days in that month. Then this is my, if I read every single day or whatever, I did miss 2 days, but I was really, really sick that week. And that is literally the only time I don't read. Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. I was going to say, were we on vacation at that point? Because it's either a vacation or when I'm sick that I usually miss reading. But every other day I've read so far, which is great. Then I have my rereads, which I've read 4 out of the 9 so far. And I'm hoping to read the Star Wars books this summer, hopefully, and to do a read along of The Princess Bride on my channel because that is my favorite book and I want to reread it again. Then my 25 into 2025, I did like a little wallpaper collage with like little frames and stuff. And I love this. I can't remember who did it first, but I saw it and I was like, I have to do it. So I have 2 pages of those and I'm not doing terrible. I would say about a little less than half left to go. So that's great. I actually read most of these probably in the first 2 months of the year. So I am doing fantastic with this list. Probably the first year I could ever say that. Then we have my genre tracker, which I think I forgot somewhere. I don't think it's exact, but it's pretty close. I have been reading way more adult fiction than I thought I would. In Christian fiction, like there's adult fiction as well, so I don't put it in both. But like I'm reading way more here than I thought I would, so I might have to either add an extra page or something like that. Everything else has a lot of room, thankfully, so far. Then I have my 100 book challenge. I am way beyond that. Normally, I read an average of 250 plus books a year, but I always like to start off with 100 just in case something happens where, I don't want to read that much, and I just want to take a break. So, but I'm at 144 right now. So yes, doing pretty good so far. I am reading a bit less this year. I read a lot in the beginning of the year, but I kind of slacked off in May. Then here's my books read in 2025, and this is based on star rating. So I have a star rating system between 1 and 6, and then I did a rainbow theme. It has the Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And then I use the pink for my 6-star. And then I do tan, like there's this tan color for any like comic books or graphic novels. But technically, I think I only did that like twice. This one was supposed to be a graphic novel, but I did the wrong color. So that was a mistake and a boo-boo, but that's okay. Was it? I can't remember what that was for, actually. It might not have been a comic book. But anyways, so yes. All right. Oh no, tan is for tan's for 1 star. That's right. What was graphic novel? Now I can't remember. Oh, a lighter green. That's right. That's right. I could not remember for some reason. That's right. Okay. Anyways, so I have already completed 2 pages here and I have 2 more left. So hopefully that will be enough for the rest of the year. I'm hoping, because normally I don't add enough. So I'm hoping this is going to be enough. Then my favorite book of the month, plus how many books that I read each month. So May, I put 17, so I had to kind of change it because it was technically 18. So it does still look like a fancy 7 or something there. But really great books so far read throughout the year. Some of these months were really hard to figure out. This is my like kind of reading challenge that I really like this a lot better. I can color it in when I'm done with a certain prompt. I love having prompts instead of like having like a list of like reading goals. That's the word I cannot come up with. Reading goals. I always have reading goals. This year I decided on a bucket list little bingo board, and it's so much better and I love it. So I'm hoping to complete memoir will be done in the next couple days, thankfully. And I still haven't Bible journaled like at all this year, really. So I'm going to have to figure that out. An author backlist. I still need to do that as well. Then I have my NetGalley list, which I didn't do bad in the beginning of the year, but I've kind of slacked off again. So I will have to do some more in the next coming 6 months. But yeah, in the first couple months, I read a ton of NetGalley arcs, which I'm really happy about. Most of them are already published, but I am trying to catch up in that. Then I have my series tracker, which is not up to date. I still need to fix a couple. There's also some that I'm thinking about just giving up on because I really wasn't invested in it as much as I thought. So I did a bunch of pages for this. As I said, I'm not a huge fan of this. I thought I was going to be, but I think I like just like the single line for each book because it doesn't take up as much room. Although, if I'm being honest, I actually have a ton of extra space in the end of this journal as far as like my count goes. So that kind of stinks because normally I only have 1 or 2 pages that are empty at the end, but I have like almost like a quarter of a journal empty. I'm like, what happened? Then I have my author backlog that I wanted to do. This is not going well. Yeah, I'm way behind in reading these. I've actually been reading other backlog authors, and I'm like, I should be reading these. So yes, I have not been great at reading these, but you know what? That's okay. I would like to try to do more of these books on the list, at least complete one, hopefully. This is one of my favorite pages too. I love the layout of it. Then I have my new release list, which I do need to update, at least as far as September. And I have read, I think, 1 or 2 more books here. Yeah, I finished that one, so I do need to update this a little bit. Haven't read a lot of new releases, but I've read a few. Then I have my buddy reads. I have, which I ended up not getting to 2 books by accident. Like I thought I had time and I didn't have time to do it, so I have to do that. And then this is actually, I have to make a little label for this page, but this is my Patreon buddy reads. So each month we buddy read a book, and then hopefully, if the author is wonderful, they join us for our book club chat, which so far, every month an author has joined us each month, which I'm really excited about. It's been a lot of fun. Then I have my members choose for Patreon for some reading vlogs. I do have one planned for, technically, it's like April through June because I didn't have time to read the other one. Then I have gifted books. So I have 2 pages for that in case anyone would like to gift me, you never have to, but I do always appreciate and love everything that's been gifted. So such a blessing that you guys are to me. And then my favorite quotes page, which I'm happy that I did a little bit more decorating rather than space, because I normally don't have a lot of quotes throughout the year, or I tend to forget to write them down. I'm like, oh, that's a great quote, and then I forget. So I kind of did a little bit more decorating, and I actually really, really love how this turned out. And so far I have space maybe for one or two more. Then I have my social media family growth chart. I like to see where I am at and stuff. It's been okay this year. It's been a little slower, but obviously when the weather gets warmer, nobody ever wants to watch any videos, which I totally understand. Then I have my YouTube content list, which I never really look at this anymore. So I'm not sure if this is going to be in next year's journal or not. I might just skip over it because I usually just put it on my phone anyways, because I do need to write down May and June's tracking. Wow, I never wrote down May. So yeah, I'm going to have to fix that up. So I have all of that. And then Book Nerd Besties, which is our Christian booktube besties. We do a book club every month, and I've done every single month aside from last month. Set in the 1920s, I did not get to, and I'm hoping to get a book about food or food on the cover. Then my own Princess Bride readathon. I have done all the prompts, like probably within the first 2 months of the year, and the only thing I have left is a book of poetry for Fezzik. So I have not done that yet, but I do have a couple of books I'm thinking about. Then the alphabet challenge, I did so well on. I only have X and Z left, and I have some that are kind of like listed in case I can't find anything else. But yes, really, really happy with how the alphabet challenge is going. Then 12 books from 12 authors. This is a challenge I was doing where I asked some of my favorite authors what their favorite books were, and then I was going to read them. I've read 2 so far, and I am behind on last year's list as well. So I figured I would just kind of give up on the list from last year, at least for a little bit, and work on this list and try to get this one done at least. So far, the authors have done a pretty good job at picking books out for me. Then I have the Book Hoarder Challenge, which is a Facebook group, but they no longer accept any new members. So I'm glad I'm part of that group, and I did complete this really early, which I'm happy about, because normally I'm not really done usually until between September and November. Then I have the Buzzword Challenge, which the buzzwords, and then they have the buzzword on the cover. So I did both, and I'm almost done aside from a memory word in the title and thing in the title. So I have not done either one of those, and those are hard to find. Then I just have a nice quote. I do want to decorate this page. I just have not yet. So now we're going to get into the monthly layouts. This is January's. I kind of wanted to do a little bit of fantasy with like a library and stuff. So that was fun. And I definitely had a lot more books that I read each month. And then there's my stats page for January and my best and worst book of the month. I like doing that. And I love these pages. It keeps track of everything, and it helps me so much at the end of the month. Then I have this, which is February's layout. This was fun. I did these little doors, which I want to do again. I did a wrapped TBR where I picked books based on prompt, or wrapped packages based on number prompts. And that was so much fun. So I did read more than half the books on that list, which I'm really proud of, because some months aren't the greatest as far as my TBR games go. Then I did complete this Once Upon a February readathon that I co-host. I just forgot to put the books down. So I will have to go back and try to figure out which ones I'd completed, because I have a bookmark here to remind myself to hurry up and fix that. Then February stats. And then my wrap-up pages, which I did end up having to do 2 pages. I did not decorate this one, so I'll have to go back and do that. And then I do want to decorate this one. This was a fun memory, and I kind of had to have its own page. So this is the book club chat with Pepper Basham for, actually it wasn't a book club. It was actually just, it was a buddy read for, was it a readathon? Or did I just have her on my channel? I can't remember now. I think I just had her on my channel. So, oh no, this might have been Patreon, but it was fun. I love Pepper Basham. She is like one of the most wonderful ladies. She's great. And then this is like my favorite moment ever, where my name is in a book. I could not believe it. So I had to have that in there. So if you ever read A Constant Love by Tracy Peterson, I am mentioned twice in there. And then we have my March, which I love this. The butterflies, very spring. This is when I was still doing my Wheel of TBR games before my TBR jar. Then my stats page. I love The Mark of the King by Jocelyn Green. What a fantastic read. Wow. And then my wrap up for March. I think I only had one page. Oh no, I had 1.5 pages apparently. And then this is another favorite memory. I kind of just had to slide it in here. This is when I got to meet Carrie Elwes, who plays Wesley from The Princess Bride. That was like probably one of my favorite memories ever. I got to hug him twice. I got very greedy and asked for a second hug. But I mean, come on. When's the next time I'm ever going to meet him? So I was like, I have to, because he was my book crush and my movie crush growing up. So I was like, I have to. Then my April, which this is one of my favorite spreads. I love this. I made it kind of spring break type, even though I'm not in school anymore, but a spring break type feel. This was our trip actually back in January, but I thought this is perfect. It's a nice little cruise vacation, kind of feels very, it feels more Greece, but we went to the Caribbean, but I really did kind of have fun doing a little bit of a collage. And then I did my spring readathon, which this year was movie themed. So spring into the movies at readathon, which was lots of fun. I did end up completing all the prompts. I actually didn't end up reading the buddy read because it would have been a reread anyways. But yes, I had a rough end of April. So yeah. And then there's my April stats, The Viking by Carrie Cotton. Oh, wow. What an incredible book. And then my April wrap up. So I barely fit in the last book in here. I'm like, I have to fit the last book because there's no way I'm going to do another page. So then we have May, which I also love May. I have some really good layouts this year that I love. This might be one of my favorite reading journals I've ever done. I think this is my 5th year doing it, 4th or 5th. It might be 5th now. Wow. It's been that long already. Then my May stats, which I don't know why I have this anymore. I don't need that anymore there. But there's my May stats, Taken with Trouble by Janessa Faith. If you want humor and funny, pick up that series. It's great. Then I have my reading wrap up, which this was my lowest month for reading, but I did get quite a few really high star ratings. And then this is June's, which, as you can see, I just filmed this. So this isn't done at all, no prompts or anything for my TBR jar. There's my stats page and my wrap-up page. So yes, that's as far as I've gotten so far. I was planning on filming my July reading journal as well, but I think I'm done. I think I'm done. I'm taking a break, but I really enjoy flipping through this reading journal with you all. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Let me know if you keep a reading journal or if you have one of those with like the reviews and stuff. I applaud you for those that do like the review reading journal type books because I do not like to write out reviews. This is actually more than what I write in my reviews because I really don't like writing reviews in my reading journal. But I figured I'd like to see my best and worst each month. So that's been fun. But I hope you all have a wonderful day and I will see you all in the next video.